Hi, Jerry from Walser Toyota here, and today we're talking about the 2021 RAV4. Now this was completely redesigned in 2019, giving it a much more rugged and sporty look. When Toyota redesigned it, they put it on their Toyota's new global architecture, or TNGA. What that means to you is you're going to have about a 60% stiffer chassis, and more importantly, you're going to have an independent multi-link rear suspension. So even though this car sits up about 2 inches higher than the previous generation, giving you 8.4 inches of ground clearance, which is roughly the same as a Jeep Cherokee, you're going to have a much better ride quality. That new suspension really gives you a great smooth ride on the highway and really grips those windy roads. Now, when you're talking about the RAV4, you have to talk about safety. This is loaded with Toyota Safety Sense 2.0. What that is, it starts right here with this logo. This is a radar that gives you a couple different things. First of all, it's pre-collision warning with pedestrian detection. Bluntly, that means if you're cruising down the road and you're going to run into something, it will flash brake in bright red on the screen, and if you don't stop in time, it'll actually apply the brakes for you. With this, you also get dynamic radar cruise control, so you just adjust to the car's speed in front of you. You get auto high beam, so you simply leave your lights on bright permanently. When somebody's coming at you, they'll dim, and once they go past, they'll go right back to bright again. Finally, you'll see that camera behind the rear view mirror. That's going to give you lane departure alert. So it'll read the lines in the side and center of the road, and if you accidentally sway over one of those, it'll beep at you and flash at you and give you a delicate little nudge on the steering wheel. Now 2.0 adds a few more things to that. That camera will read road signs off in the distance, like yield and do not enter, and display them on your dash for you. And finally, they'll have something called lane trace assist. So if you have your dynamic radar cruise control on and your lane departure alert, it actually keeps you centered within the lane. So if the road turns, it will keep you centered, but don't let go of that steering wheel. Now that safety sense, combined with 8 airbags and Toyota's Star safety system, which includes things like electronic brake force distribution, traction control, and anti-lock brakes, really make this an incredibly safe car. Now, under the hood of all the RAV4 gas models, you'll find the same 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that gives you a class-leading 203 horsepower and 185 foot-pounds of torque, and those will give you a combined class-leading 30 miles per gallon. So you'll have plenty of power to merge onto the highway and still get fantastic gas mileage. Now, all Toyotas do come with 2 years, 25,000 miles of Toyota Care, where they're going to pay for your oil changes, tire rotations, service checks, and fluid top-offs. They'll also come with a 3-year, 36,000-mile comprehensive warranty that basically covers everything on the car except for wearable items like your windshield wipers, blades, and brake pads. You also get a 5-year, 60,000-mile Powertrain Warranty from Toyota that covers the engine, transmission, and drivetrain. Now, what's great about Walser is we're going to extend that drivetrain out to 10 years, 150,000 miles. That's complimentary to you, and we also offer you the opportunity to get a 10-year, 150,000-mile comprehensive coverage. So imagine not paying for any repairs for 10 years. That's pretty awesome, right? So the complimentary powertrain warranty combined with our one point of contact, non-commission sales, really makes Walser a great place to buy your new car. Now let's go check out the back end. Now you can see the RAV4 has plenty of cargo room, lots of room to store golf clubs, your gym bags, groceries, whatever you need, plenty of room back here. Now this floor actually has two sides. You can see the cloth side here, or the plastic side here. You can, with the plastic side up, a little bit easier to clean, so if you have some dirty boots or maybe some plants from Menards, a lot easier to use. Also, this will accordion up like this, giving you easy access to the spare tire. So you won't have to set the floor on the side of the road. Now granted, if you take care of that, take advantage of that 10-year, 150,000-mile comprehensive coverage, you're never going to change your own tire anyway. Now the RAV4s have 3 unique all-wheel drive systems. In your LE, XLE, and XLE Premium, you'll have your standard all-wheel drive, which is a front-wheel drive bias car, and as needed, it will send power to the rear wheels. It can send up to 50% of the power to the rear wheels. Now, of that power going to the rear wheels, it is divided evenly between the left and the right wheel. Now, your limited model, which this is, and also on the TRD Off-Road and Adventure, you have Toyota's dynamic torque vectoring all-wheel drive. That is unique to the RAV4 in its class. The difference there is that power that's going to the rear wheels can be divided up anywhere from 50% to one and 50% to the other, all the way up to 100% to one side and 0 to the other. Now, this is mainly a safety thing, but it's also going to help you on windy roads as it overdrives the outside wheel when you're turning, and it'll help you in snow and mud, and if you're doing any off-roading or overlanding, you'll be able to get to a little bit higher spots than the other all-wheel drives. The third system that Toyota has is on the hybrids. It's called intelligent all-wheel drive. The main thing there is no direct axle connecting the engine to the rear wheels. Rather, there's an electric motor that drives the rear wheels. Now, that was unique to Toyota. They came out with that in 2007 in the Highlander, and now some small companies like Porsche and Ferrari also use that. Now, all of Toyota's all-wheel drive systems are proactive all-wheel drive as opposed to reactive all-wheel drive. What that means, say you're sitting at a stoplight, the car is automatically going to put 20% of the power to the rear wheels to help you launch quicker, as opposed to a reactive all-wheel drive, which you wouldn't get power to those rear wheels until the front wheels spin. So let's go check out the interior. Right, the interior of the RAV4 is very clean and simple and sporty looking. Let's start with the multi-informational display, which is controlled right here. This just gives you a variety of information. Here's your lane departure lane. This duplicates what's on the radio. Different things. Here's some settings. If you want to turn off your blind spot monitors, you would simply do this. We're going to put those back on because that's a great safety feature. Parking sensors, so they can all be taken care of and turned off or on right here. This is just your volume to the radio. Your push to talk button. This car does have both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capabilities. So here's your push to talk button. A single switch now for answering and hanging up the phone. And this will clear out messages from your multi-informational display. Over here is your cruise control. All of this is cruise control. Here's your main on and off switch. You simply press this and you can see this is your cruise control icon right here. Get up to speed and press set. This button controls the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you on cruise control. So you can see there's 3 blue bars, there's 2 blue bars, and 1 blue bar. Again, that's the distance between you and the car in front of you. Now here's a pro tip. If you don't like dynamic radar cruise control, which is standard, it defaults to that every time you turn it on. If you simply press this and hold it for 2 seconds, the car icon disappears, leaving just the speedometer looking one there. That is plain old cruise control, so that is an option for you to use. Here's your lane departure alert button. These are just some radio options over here. So let's go to the radio, or the head unit over here. The Limited has the JBL system. Awesome system. You can crank it up and you won't hear any distortion whatsoever. It's really, really a great stereo system. You can customize this however you want. Simply go into your menu, into setup, customize home screen. You can change it to a 3-panel look. You can change it to a 4-panel look, a 2-panel look, whichever you like to do. And you can also change the color as well. By going into theme setting over here, maybe you'd like it in red instead of blue. Some pretty cool options for you there. Again, it does have navigation. One of the really cool features about the RAV4 Limited is the digital rear view mirror. So if you use the day-night switch here, which you're pretty common with, if you flip this, it turns into a digital camera. Now that is not the backup camera. The backup camera is a separate camera. This one you can actually have on while you're driving if you needed to. This is going to have both heated and ventilated seats with an option of having heated second row seats as well. Down here, you've got a circular power port, and you also have a USB port. You're going to have an additional 2 USB ports in the center console, and then there's 2 more in the back seat, giving you a total of 5 USB ports. Coming across the HVAC here, pretty standard operating. This is a neat button here. This one prevents air from going into the back seat. If there's nobody sitting back there, then why use it? Up here, you have your SOS button. Nothing will happen here. You'd have to pull this little glass down. But in an emergency situation, simply press that. A Toyota rep will come on and see if you need fire or emergency services. Now, if you'll notice, this is called the A-pillar here, the B-pillar over here. On the A-pillar, Toyota has put this little window right here and made this A-pillar much narrower. They've also moved the rear view mirror down off of the A-pillar and put it onto the door. That's great for sight lines, much safer for you. In the Limited, you're also going to have 2 position memory seats, and those are right here. Also a heated steering wheel. Now you'll also notice in the RAVs that the multimedia screen is raised up instead of being down here. Now that does take a little bit of getting used to, but it's actually a safety thing. When you're looking at the radio, your eyes are much closer to the road rather than looking down on the dashboard. So there it is, the 2021 RAV4. If you'd like some more information or if you want to schedule a test drive, please visit our website at walsertoyota.com.